So, I wanted to make a toast tonight and felt a little gypped that I missed the opportunity. I thought there'd be opportunity at the wedding, but so I thought I would just, make it now. And so, to all of you, I want to say that, of course, as most of you know, I've known Heather for a long, long time. Um, Dave, I've David, is that right? Yes. I've come to know him more recently, and he seems like a wonderful guy. If you like that kind of person, you know, in a kind of goofy kind of way. But setting that aside, you know, um, let me speak about Heather, whom as I say, I've known a long time. We go way back. Um, the times on the farm growing up. I was in the farm, next door, and we knew each other well. We spent lots of time in the barn, in the hayloft, exploring, as kids will do, and it meant nothing. It meant nothing, and there's no reason for Dave to feel jealous about that because we were very, very young. Um, and that was a long time ago. But I do want to bring up a story from those days because it bears on the wedding gift that I got for them. And I hope no one else got the same thing because, it's the obvious thing to get Heather when she gets married, if you know her, which is to say, I bought them a leather deer, a buck, really. All right, so to back up, um, Heather's father, wonderful man, used to love to hunt, and he would hunt with a bow and arrow, which is what only real men do. I mean, that's the way to do it, really. It's the only fair thing to the animals, really. And so he would take Heather and me out with him on the hunt. And one time we were, I don't know, nine. Heather, is that right? Nine? Yeah. We were nine, and we come into a clearing, and there's this beautiful buck there, probably a 10-point buck. And Ed, Heather's father, Ed, um, pulled back the bow, and what happens? It snaps. That happens sometimes with bows, particularly if you hunt as frequently as Ed did. And the deer, the buck, had just looked at us at the moment that Ed pulled back the mighty bow. And when it snapped, that buck put its head down, antlers in gore position, and came charging at us. Now, I was scared shitless. I probably wet my pants. Ed probably was cool, but I don't think he knew what to do because, he didn't have a backup weapon or anything. And so it was just coming at us, and we all kind of froze. And then suddenly, at the last second, Heather puts her hand up ahead of her in the most sort of graceful way, like a policeman asking people to stop, but in a more kind of graceful way. Put her hand up, and the buck just kept charging. I thought, well, fuck, that's not going to help us. We're dead. And the deer came to a halt, screeching stop, inches from us. And Heather just put her hand out onto the buck's nose, rested it there. And I've never heard a buck do this before. I didn't even know they could do it. The buck began to purr, and they adopted it as a family pet. Um, she named it Arnold. They had it for years and years thereafter. Um, I believe they kept Arnold until he was killed by a cougar. I think is that right? Cougar? Yeah, yeah. It was a cougar. Um, but in any case, it was a beautiful thing, and I thought that's that says a lot about Heather, and I think she's going to need that because, as I say, I don't know Heather well, um, but as far as I can tell, um, I think Dave is a bit of a beast, and so she's going to need that. So, Let's all raise a glass to Heather and David, to Heather and David, and wish them a happy life together. Shalom.